Hi friends, welcome to this class. This class is about flexibility within our hips and also within our legs. So we will work our thighs, we will work our hamstrings, we will work our hip flexors, and all of that will be combined with a little bit of different class style that I usually do. So we will include some movement patterns into the whole practice. What does that mean? Movement pattern can be something like the vinyasa that we know from our sun salutations. So it will be a fluent movement, but it will also include some range of motion. First, I will introduce this movement pattern in a slow and understandable way, and then we will go through it a few times so you will get the hang of it and you will be able to follow with me or along with me with your breath. All right, we will start this class today in Sukhasana easy pose, so you can already come into a comfortable seated position, your hands onto your thighs or knees, and then roll your shoulders back. Lengthen your spine through the crown of your head. You are really long and tall here. If you want, you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. And take a few deep inhales and exhales through your nose. Arrive in your body. Arrive in your practice. Bring your awareness towards your breath. And notice how the breath moves in through your nostrils, all the way through your throat, maybe into your lower abdomen, into your tummy. And with your exhale, it flows all the way out your tummy, out your throat, out your nostrils. Notice how the breath takes up space within your womb, within your sacral chakra, the space in between your hips. Maybe you notice how your womb expands. Maybe a rise in your hips. Maybe a rise or expansion in your lower back. And with each exhalation, everything flattens back down. When the air diminishes out of your body. Notice this change for a few more breaths. Now shift your awareness towards the temperature of your breath. Feel the change of temperature when the air flows into your body, a little bit cooler. And with your exhalation, the warmed up air comes out of your body. Maybe you feel the sensation within your nostrils. Maybe you feel this change on your body wherever the air hits your body when it comes out. Now shift your awareness towards the sound of your breath. Maybe you notice a difference in your inhales and your exhales. Or maybe you want to notice your breath as a whole and listen to the sound that it makes. Now bring your awareness back towards your lower abdomen and take another deep inhale into that part of your body. With your exhale, let go of the air through your mouth. Do this 2 more times, inhaling through your nose into your lower abdomen. Now with your exhale, let go of the air through your mouth. 1 more like this. Now bring your hands together, palms to touch in front of your heart. And then start to rub your palms together, creating some heat. Feel the energy rising within your nerve ends in your hands and fingers. And then place your hands above your eyes. Start to slowly blink open your eyelids. And maybe first look through your fingers. And then release your hands onto your thighs. Arrive back in the room, in your surroundings, on your mat. And then switch your legs, if you had one in front of you. Take your hands onto your knees, and then we start with some hip circles. So if you inhale, come towards the right with your upper body, and all the way towards the front, maybe lifting your chest up. And with your exhale through the left and through the back, come back towards the right. Try to move with your own breath here. How do these circles in your own pace, slower or faster, whatever feels good in your body. Let your breath guide you. When you arrive back in the right side, Then change the direction. So if you exhale, come through the back to the left. With your inhale, come to the front and to the right. Do this again a few more times. Maybe you try to use your hips to move instead of your upper body. Bring some strength into your hips, into the lower part of your upper body. And again, when you arrive at the right side, then come slowly back to center. Find the perfect spot for your upper body onto your spine. And with your inhale, start to lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And with your exhale, interlace your fingers behind the back of your head. Point your elbows out. Inhale, lift your chest, maybe look up. And with your exhale, round your back. Bring your elbows together, look towards your navel. Inhale, lift your chest up, look up. Elbows point outward. Exhale, come back together, round your back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, round your back. Inhale up. Exhale, round your back, elbows together. With your inhale, come back up. And then exhale, release your arms to your sides. Now come into a tabletop position with your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Your fingers are widely spread here. Your fingertips are gripping into the mat, so you have slight pressure in your fingertips and also in the space in between your thumb and your index finger. We will start with some wrist warm-ups, so you can tuck your toes under if you want, and then shift towards the front and towards the back, maybe towards the left and right. Do this little movement a few times. Again, move as fast or as slow as you want. These can be tiny little movements, can be big movements, can be circles, or shifts towards the front and back, left and right. Now find your way back into center and then rotate your hands inward so that your fingertips are pointing towards each other. Try to keep your wrists above your shoulders or underneath your shoulders. And then again, left to right, front to back. Throughout this movement, try to keep your core strong and engaged so you're not falling in between your hands here. We are not going into a hollow back. And then rotate your hands outward 180 degrees so that your fingertips are pointing to the long side of the mat. Again, try to have your wrists underneath your shoulders and then left to right, front to back. Don't forget the grip of your fingertips. And then one more time, rotate outward so that your fingertips point towards your knees. And now come back and front. These can be really tiny micro movements. This really depends on the flexibility of your wrists. So don't overdo it. You want to protect your wrists. That's why we're doing this warm up. And then rotate back to center. Sit back down onto your heels and do some circles with your wrists to release any tension that might have built up throughout this practice or throughout this movement. Very nice. Now come back into your tabletop position. Adjust your stance, untuck your toes, and then straighten your right leg towards the back. Maybe come onto your toes. Lift your left arm up, parallel to the mat. Make sure that your shoulder is rolled down, so it's not coming up towards your ear. You have a really strong core here. Don't forget the grip of your hand. And then lift your right leg up towards the ceiling or parallel to the mat. So you build one line, you create one line with your fingertips and your heel, and of course with your upper body. Inhale here. And with your exhale, bend your knee, bend your elbow, come into a crunch. Engage your core a little bit more. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale up. Also here, have a strong core. Exhale, crunch. One more like this. Inhale, come up into the straight line. And then with your exhale, bend your right knee. Grab the outside of your foot with your left hand. Keep your chest towards the front. Look towards the front. Your core is engaged. And then, if you want, slight pressure into your hand with your foot to open up your leg a little bit more. Open your hip. Maybe feel a nice stretch in your upper thigh or in your hip flexor. Inhale, come a little bit higher. Or if you exhale, slowly release back down. Take your hand underneath your shoulder. Your foot comes towards the back or your leg stays straight, foot onto the mat. And then rotate your left leg outward so that your shin is parallel to the short side of the mat. Now bring some weight onto your left hand and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. This is option 1. Option 2, lift your right leg up parallel to the mat. Option 3, release your right leg back onto the mat and then lift your left leg up. Really pinch through the side of your body. Up, up, up. Stay here for 3. 2. 1. And then with your next exhale, slowly release your leg first, whichever you head up. And then bring your right hand back underneath your shoulder. Pivot your knee inward and come into your tabletop position again. We move into the other side, so adjust your stance if you need to. Your knees are underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Grip your fingers into the mat. And then start to straighten your left leg towards the back. Place your toes onto the mat. Bring some weight into your right hand and lift your right arm up. Shoulder is down. One line with your fingertips and your shoulder and your hips. Now start to lift your heel up parallel with your arm and upper body. Inhale here. And with your exhale, bring your knee to your elbow. Bend both. Crunch. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale up. Strong core. Exhale, crunch. Inhale up. Exhale, crunch. One more like this. Inhale up. And with your exhale, bend your left knee and grab the outside of the foot with your right hand. Look towards the front. Chest is rotated front. Look up. Now, if you want, open your hip a little bit more by pressing into your right hand And maybe feel a stretch in your upper thigh. Breathe here, strong core. Inhale, come a little higher. Now if you exhale, slowly release your right hand back down. Your left leg stays straight. Your toes come onto the mat. And then rotate your right shin parallel to the short side of the mat. Now bring some weight into your right hand and lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Option to stay here. Option 2, lift your left leg up parallel to the mat. Option 3, lift your right leg up. For 3, 2, pinch through the side of your body. 1, and then slowly release whichever leg was up. And then place your left hand back onto the mat and come back into your tabletop position. Now if you want, you can take one breath in child's pose to release your hands as well. Now if your next inhale, look towards the front, grip your fingers back into the mat, tuck your back toes under, exhale, lift your hips up into your downward facing dog. Now walk your dog if you want, bending one knee at a time, maybe twisting from side to side. Perfect. And then slowly find stillness. Take your feet hip distance apart, your hands are shoulder width apart, your shoulders away from your ears, rib cage tucked in. Maybe you look towards your knees. With your next inhale, start to lift your right leg up towards the ceiling into a three-legged dog. Keep your foot flexed. Inhale here, lift a little higher. Now with your exhale, bend your knee towards your right elbow. Step your right foot onto the outside of your right hand. Lizard pose. You can stay here on your hands, or you come onto your forearms, or you can also release your left leg down. Whichever version works best for you. You can also always use blocks underneath your forearms or hands. And maybe shift front to back a little bit. Open your hips a little bit wider. Look in between your hands to elongate your spine. So you're not trying to look towards the front nor towards the back. With your next inhale, come back onto your hands if you aren't already. And then come also back, lift your back knee up into a straight line. And then pivot your right foot into center so that your hands are around your right foot. Lift your arms up above your head into high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, lower your knee a little bit, hover above the mat. And then inhale, straighten back up. Maybe you feel a change in the stretch of your upper thigh here. You can do it again if you want, bending your knee and then coming back up with the inhale. You can look front or up towards your fingers. Keep your elbows straight. Your shoulders rolled down. Strong core. With your inhale, come a little bit higher, stretch your sides of the body. And with your exhale, open your arms, open your hips, come into 90 degrees with your back foot. Bend into your front knee, look over your front fingertips. Maybe you want to bring your shoulders towards your ears and then roll back one time. Keep your rib cage tucked in here. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. With your inhale, start to shift forwards to front. Open your hand to the ceiling. And with your exhale, reverse your warrior. Look towards your elbow or towards your right fingers. And keep the bend in your front knee. Inhale, come back to center, warrior 2. And then rotate all the way into your high lunge. Reach your arms up. Exhale, hands around your right foot. And then step back into your downward facing dog. Adjust your stance if you have to. And keep your core strong. Navel towards your spine. Rib cage tucked in. Look to your navel or look to your knees to intensify the stretch. Keep the grip in your fingers. We move on to the other side. So if you inhale, lift your left leg up. Breathe here. Inhale a little higher. And with your exhale, bend your knee towards your left elbow. Step onto the outside of your left hand. Into lizard pose. You can stay here on your hands, or you come down onto your knee or onto your forearms or both. Keep your gaze in between your hands. And then maybe shift front and back. Utthita Prasthasana. With your inhale, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Lift your knee if you haven't already. And then pivot your left foot inward. Your hands are around your left foot. And with your inhale, lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Come into a high lunge. Ashtachantrasana. You can roll your shoulders back and down. Core engaged. Elbows straight. Maybe look towards your fingers. Don't forget to smile. And then with your inhale, make yourself a little bit taller. And with your exhale, open up into warrior 2. Your arms are straight, back and front. Look over your front fingertips. Make sure you can see your big toes, so your knees above your ankle here. And with your inhale, shift front, open up your hand, and then reverse the warrior. Keep your shoulder away from your ear. Maybe look to your elbow or to your fingertips. Keep the bend in the front knee. And then inhale, come back to center. And rotate all the way back into your high lunge. Now release your hands down onto the mat. And then step all the way back into your downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths here. One more. If you inhale, start to lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. And then bend your knee and open your hip. Keep your shoulders square. Now if you want, you can do some hip circles, draw some circles with your knee, change the direction. And then find back stillness, open your knee towards the ceiling, hips stacked. Inhale here. And with your exhale, bring your knee towards your chest. And then step in between your hands this time. Lower your left knee down and tuck your toes. Come into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Reach your arms up. Stay here. Remember to keep your knee above your ankle, so you have a slight lifting of your hips here. You're really engaging your hamstring, your hip flexor, your thigh. Strong, strong legs. Maybe even press a little bit into your back of the foot to get that nice little tuck. Inhale here. Now with your exhale, twist towards the right. Open up your arms. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Keep your legs strong while you twist here. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. And with your exhale, bring your hands onto the mat. Inhale, lift your chest up. Maybe come onto your fingertips. Maybe look up. And with your exhale, straighten your front leg and flex your foot towards yourself. Half split, Adho Hanumanasana. Inhale, come towards the front. Lift your chest. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, come towards the front. Exhale, shift back. Now this time stay here. Maybe walk your fingers a little bit further towards the front. Try to keep a strong and long back. Your toes are pointing towards yourself. With your inhale, come back towards the front. Lift your chest. With your exhale, tuck your toes under. Lift your knee up. Now rotate towards the left. Come into Skandasana, side lunge. Come onto your heel. Your toes point towards you. You can stay on your whole foot or you come onto your toes, whatever is comfortable. Take your hands towards your chest if you can. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, straighten your legs and move towards the left side. So you bend your left knee. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, straighten both legs. Pivot both feet parallel to each other. So your heels are slightly outward. And then bend over your thighs. You can grab your ankles, you can grab your big toes, or you massage yourself a little bit further down. With your next inhale, rotate your right foot forward so that your toes are pointing to the short side of the mat again. Maybe step a little bit closer with your left heel towards your right heel. And then bring your toes a little bit inward so that your foot is in 45-degree angle. Now lift yourself to straighten your back. Your chest is pointing forward. You can take your hands behind your lower back if you want. And then exhale, release over your right thigh. Pyramid pose. Inhale, lift up. Release your hands. Place them around your front foot. And then step your back foot a little bit further back. Step your right foot towards your left. And then come into a high plank. Inhale here. And with your exhale, come through Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Press through the back of your feet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here for 5. Check your alignment. With your next inhale, start to lift your left leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Keep your shoulders squared. And then maybe start to circle your hip. Draw some circle with your knee. Change the direction. And then open your hip completely. One inhale here. And with your exhale, bring your knee towards your nose and step in between your hands. Lower your right knee down, untuck your toes, and then lift your arms up above your head into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Keep this slight lifting of your hips to have your knee above your ankle, to have the strong legs. Maybe you want to look forward or towards your fingertips. Wherever you are, keep your shoulders down. And with your next inhale, lift yourself a little bit higher. And with your exhale, twist open to the left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale up. Exhale left. Your legs stay strong. Exhale left. Right. Inhale up. And with your exhale, bring your hands around your foot. Onto your fingertips, lift your chest. With your exhale, straighten your left leg. Point your fingers towards your body. Inhale, come towards the front. Exhale, Adha Hanumanasana, half split. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, shift back. Inhale, come front. Exhale, shift back. Stay here. Maybe walk your fingers towards the front. Keep a strong, long back. Your toes are pointed towards you. Or if you inhale, bend your front knee. Tuck your back toes under, come into a high lunge or runner's lunge. And then open up towards the right side into Skandasana, side lunge. Hands to heart center. Right foot is flexed. And then inhale through center all the way towards the right. Inhale, straighten both legs, pivot both feet inward, parallel to each other, and come into a wide-legged forward fold. Either grab your ankles or your big toes. Bend through your hips. With your next inhale, rotate your front foot forward. Your back foot comes a little bit further towards the center of the mat and into 45 degrees. Bring your chest towards the front and then maybe lift up with the inhale. Place your hands onto your lower back into prayer pose, and with exhale, fold over your front thigh. Breathe here. Have a slight bend in your front knee so you're not overstretching your hamstring. With your inhale, come back up. Release your hands with your exhale. Step your right foot back and then step your left foot into high plank. Inhale here. And with your exhale, come through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. We will move into our movement patterns. I will explain step by step, of course, as I said. So you just follow along, and then we will repeat this same pattern with our breath, so a little bit faster. So with your next inhale, make sure that you're standing in the right downward facing dog, so your hands are shoulder width apart, your feet are hip distance apart. Inhale your right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend your knee, open your hip. Inhale, reach a little bit higher. And with your exhale, slowly lower your right foot to the outside of the mat on the left side. Lower your hips down and then reach your right arm above you and towards the back, lifting your hip and lifting your chest into a wild thing, flip dog. With your inhale, slowly rotate back inward, place your right hand onto the mat and then lift your right leg up towards the ceiling into a 3-legged dog again. With your inhale, reach higher. And with your exhale, bring your knee towards your nose and then step in between your hands. Lower your left knee down and tuck your toes and then start to pivot your right foot towards the front into a split. And we can grab some blocks underneath your hands to keep a straight back here. We will stay here for 3 breaths. With your inhale, pivot your foot back inward, maybe through all the way next to your left shin, and then come back onto your heels with your buttocks. Place your hands in front of you, come into Child's Pose Balasana. Take a breath here. With your inhale, grip into your hands again, look towards the front, shift forward, and come directly into your upward facing dog. So lift up through the back of your feet. And then exhale, come into your downward facing dog. Do the same on the other side. So if you inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale here. And with the exhale, lower your left foot towards the outside of the mat on the right side. Now lift your arm up, lift your chest, lift your hips, reach front, flip dog. With your inhale, bring your left hand back onto the mat, rotate inward and reach your left leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. And with your exhale, bring your knee towards your chest. Step in between your hands. Lower your right knee down, untuck your toes. And then pivot your front foot towards the front. Come into a split position. Straight back. Stay here for 3. With your next inhale, bend your knee. And then come all the way back into Balasana. Take a breath here. With your inhale, grip your hands into the mat, look to the front, and then shift all the way into your upward facing dog. With your exhale, come into your downward facing dog. Now this is the movement pattern. We will move with the breath, so a little bit faster this time. You can directly come into your splits instead of coming through the high lunge position, or if you want, you can also stay in the high lunge position, so you don't have to come all the way into the splits. With your inhale, lift your right leg up. Exhale, bend your knee, lower down into Wild Thing. Lift your chest. Inhale here. Now with your exhale, bring your right hand down. Lift your right leg up. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. Step in between your hands into high lunge if you want. Or splits. Exhale, come all the way back into your child's pose, Balasana. Inhale, lift to the front, shift forward, come into your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bend your knee, come into a Wild Thing. Inhale here. Exhale, come all the way back into your downward facing dog. Lift your leg up, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, step in between your hands, come high lunge or splits. Inhale here. And with your exhale, come all the way back into your child's pose. Inhale, grip your hands, come into your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. If you want, you can also come into Balasana to take a break, whatever feels good for you. And then wherever you are, find your way back into your downward facing dog. And with your inhale, start to lift your right leg up. Exhale, Wild Thing. Inhale here. Exhale, come back into your 3-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose, scoop all the way into your splits if you want. Inhale here. Exhale, come all the way into your child's pose. Inhale, shift front into your upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, open your hip, come into your flip dog. Inhale here. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Lift your left leg up. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose, and come maybe into your splits. Inhale here. And with your exhale, shift all the way into your child's pose. Take a few balancing breaths here. Slow down your breath. We will do this one more time on each side. So if you inhale, grip your hands into the mat again. And then shift forward, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. With your next inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend your knee, exhale. Lift your chest, inhale. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose, high lunge or splits. Inhale here. And with your exhale, come all the way back into your child's pose. Inhale, shift towards the front. Come into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, flip the dog. Inhale here. Exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose, come into high lunge or front splits. Inhale here. Exhale, come back into your child's pose. Inhale, shift towards the front, come all the way into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 more breaths here. You can do this movement pattern also without the mat, with socks on, so you don't have the hassle of the grip that you have with the mat, which is great for yoga, but not so great for this movement pattern when you have to be or want to be fluent. Now lift your heels up, come onto your toes, and then lower your knees down, untuck your toes, come into child's pose balasana this time. Take your hands around your body, hands on your heels. Maybe ground your forehead by rolling from side to side. And then with your next inhale, bring up into a seated position on your heels. And then sit onto one side. Bring your legs in front of you. Try to already sit into the center of your mat here. And then ground your heels into the mat. Make yourself really long with the spine. Maybe use your hands to help you with that. Lift your chest up. Dandasana staff pose. Shoulders are away from your ears. And then bring your knee towards your chest. Take your right knee first. And then place your foot onto the outside of your left leg or left knee. Take your right hand behind you and then reach your left arm up. Inhale, and with the exhale, rotate towards the right side. Take your left elbow onto the outside of your right knee. Look towards the right or maybe over your left shoulder, right shoulder. And breathe here. Keep your spine long. Keep your left leg grounding, left heel grounding. And then inhale, come back to center. Bring your right foot back inside of your left leg and then extend your leg towards the front. Do the same on the other side. Left knee towards your chest and left foot onto the outside of your right knee. Take your left hand behind you, your right arm comes up, inhale. And with your exhale, bend your elbow and come into a twist on this side. And look to the side or over your left shoulder. Ground your right heel into the mat, your right leg. Lengthen your spine. Inhale, come back to center. And then release your left leg towards the front. Next to your right heel, reach your arms up above your head. Make yourself long. And with your exhale, fold over both thighs. If you want, you can also bend your knees so that your torso is touching your thighs. Release your neck, release your upper body. With your next inhale, slowly roll yourself up into seated and then keep rolling down onto your back, all the way onto the mat underneath you. Maybe bring your knees towards your chest and rock from side to side. Massaging your lower back here. And then find stillness. Interlace your hands around your right shin and extend your left leg towards the front and down. Inhale here. Or if you exhale, open your hip and bring your knee towards your armpit. You can release one hand if you want onto your hip maybe. And breathe here. Slow and steady. Come back to center with your right knee. And then bring your left knee back towards your chest as well. Interlace your hands around your left shin and then extend your right leg towards the front and down. And open up your hip with your exhale. Maybe take your right hand onto your right hip. Release your shoulders. Relax your neck. Inhale, come back to center. Bring both knees towards your chest again. And then do whatever feels good here. Either rotate your knees outward, or you take the outside of your feet through the inside of your knees into a happy baby. Whatever feels good here. Take 3 more breaths. If you inhale, release your feet. Take your knees towards your chest one more time. Lift your head towards your knees, make yourself small. Squeeze everything together with your inhale. Now hold your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Come all the way down onto the mat. Your legs straight towards the front, feet fall outward. Your arms by your side, hands or palms facing the ceiling. Release your neck. Maybe tuck your chin slightly inward. Release your shoulders. Let go of any tension within your body. Maybe use your breath to guide you deeper into the relaxation. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. 2 more like this. Feel how your body relaxes with each exhalation. Surrenders more and more into the mat underneath. Notice how the space in between your physical body and the mat underneath you diminishes. Notice how all your body parts get heavy. All your muscles release the tension. Also within your face. Maybe help out here a little bit by shifting your jaw from side to side. Maybe lifting your eyebrows to release the space in between. Release the tongue within your mouth. Let go of any thought of the practice, any thought of what might happen next, any thought at all. Slowly bring your awareness back towards your breath. And maybe start to deepen your breath. Now bring some movement into your body. Maybe use your fingers and toes first. Rotate your hands and your feet. Stretch your arms above your head, make yourself long. Maybe stretch from side to side. Bring your knees towards your chest. Maybe lift your forehead to your knees. And then roll on to your left side. Maybe place your head on top of your upper arm. Take a moment here. Find your way back into your physical body, into your surroundings. And then when you're ready, ground your right hand into the mat and gently push yourself up into a seated posture. You keep your eyes closed for a moment. Take your hands to your heart center. Allow yourself to be grateful. Take your hands to your third eye. May your thoughts be clear. Take your hands to your mouth. May your words be kind and understanding. Take your hands back to your heart. May your heart be filled with unconditional love. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today in this practice. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. And if you did, please let me know through a like, through a comment, or by subscribing to my channel.